Are you just jealous? 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 Cause we're the VG Boys. Yeah. Are you just jealous? 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 Cause we're the VG Boys.
That's us. That's us.
Oh yeah.
Oh boy.
Oh yeah.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Welcome back to the VG Boys podcast. I am Adam, and with me is my co-host is Sean.
Yes.
And we are the VG Boys, and we bring to you lots of gum flapping about the Game Awards.
The gum flaps.
Well, yeah, man, we got to yak it up. You know what I mean? Got to yak it up. So, yeah, man, Game Awards. But first, we're going to start with my favorite segment from last time. What you been playing lately?
What you been playing lately?
I don't know, man. What you been playing lately? I'm asking you first.
Oh, okay. Well, I've been playing a little Fade to Silence, which I don't know.
Which is?
Have you
for
ever
those
heard?
who've never
Well,
played?
So basically, it's in a nutshell a post-apocalyptic frozen world where you play as a lone survivor type character, going out trying to collect materials to survive and fight against some unknown force that takes over the world in like almost like a Zerg creep like material with strange things that you basically go against. You meet companions, you hunt and fight monsters in the wild and
Monsters in the Wild.
It was good. I played it to completion, which is a new one for a while. I feel like I've been picking up games and not completing them, so I was like, let me get through to the end on this
all
one.
I do, I feel like, is pick up games and not complete them.
Yeah, it's a problem. But I was like, no, I'm going to stick to this one, and I'm surprised I did because it was good. I enjoyed it, but probably the glitchiest, hard at times to really get into. The story's a little not
when
even
you say
there.
glitchy,
Like,
a lot of the games that came out this year have been glitchy. What are we talking about?
Things are not acting the way they should. I would like shoot a deer and it would like float
Shooting
on
deers.
the ice dead in front of me, and like things would just glitch up in the game as far as like a monster that's supposed to be attacking the base will just sit there and I have to like go out and fight it. Just random things, and it's a bizarre thing. I'll probably do a little video review
My
of it
favorite
for the
glitch
channel.
is the fall through the floor glitch, where all of a sudden you drop into the never-ending abyss.
I had a few, not quite that bad, but it was almost like when you step in deep snow and like you're like
The snow is
stuck.
real deep.
Like I'd have to jump a few times to get out. Like that happened multiple times. I had one of my save files, but you only get one save file corrupt. Literally, the thing said save file corrupt. Thank God I pay for
That's my least favorite glitch.
I pay for the PS Network though when I do the auto upload for save files.
Yeah.
So I was able to at least get like an earlier in the day one. So I lost like a few hours of progress, but it was better than like starting over because I wouldn't have. I would have definitely just quit the game entirely.
That's painful.
But
bro.
I think it was cool. I feel like it was just not a finished game by any means. Like they definitely rushed it out too much.
It, right?
No, I did. I beat it. I completed the game. I didn't
So
get
it's technically
every.
finished.
Yeah, it's
but unpolished.
No, I'm talking. Yeah, the game is like I would say it's unfinished. Like the game should have been worked on more. There's just things that aren't working properly, and even with all the updates, I'm sure that they've done.
Does it need expensive DLC?
No, there's nothing really to add to this game. Like they would have to do a complete overhaul. Like it was cool for what it was, but like I would say like give it a play if it looks good.
This town needs an enema.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it was. Like I said, I'm probably gonna do a little review for our YouTube channel at some point. So check that out in the future because I played it enough that I feel like I have enough to talk about it that I'll do a little something on it. But how about you, Adam? What you been playing
lately?
Yeah.
Well, I've been playing The Outer Worlds.
Oh, how is that? I wanted to check that out.
You know what? It's absolutely fantastic in my opinion.
That's the guys that did the original team for Fallout, I think.
Fallout
or something
New
like that,
Vegas.
Right? Yeah, which is
Obsidian.
one of the best ones I've
guys.
heard. New Vegas
so
is the
what
the
I
big
did
one.
is I never played Fallout New Vegas, so I grabbed that on Steam on a sale randomly, just to get a feel for the developer. Really,
Okay.
I've played Fallout 4.
You didn't play 3 on 360?
I didn't. No.
Okay, I played that one. That was like one of my original Fallout games that got me into it. And New Vegas just seemed like a little bit better, like an upgrade from that, but also on the 360. So.
Well, I'll say this: it's like, how do I phrase it? I guess imagine Skyrim, but it's not, dragons and all these different things. It's more like space, and you work for a company.
Mm-hmm.
And it's Spacer's Choice. You know what I mean? And everyone buys into the company policy, and, everyone works on this planet for the specific company.
Okay.
So it's a colony game, really.
Mm.
But you could venture out into different planets and stuff like
I hear
that.
there's like a lot of like advertising, like they kind of make it a little wacky, is what I remember reading. Like they have like everything's like corporate all over the place. Does that sound right?
Absolutely. It's very, like, the art style also is akin to the Fallout style.
Okay.
It's that throwback, like turn of the century. Turn, I guess, of the 19th century or 20th century.
The 21st century.
Well, we're in the 21st, but so turn of the 20th century, I suppose. And it's really cool, man. It's like there's a lot of choose your own adventure element to it with the dialogue. So
which Skyrim and Fallout and stuff have had.
It is,
so
but even more so. Like you can. Your journey is shaped by how you interact with the people and what you say to them. So they force you to make choices to go one way or another frequently.
Nice.
So you also use these little... You know how in Skyrim you had... like if you say a certain thing, it'll boost your speech ability or something like that? Like if you choose a certain speech choice.
Oh, you mean like a skill kind of thing?
It'll boost your skill.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Yes.
it does. This game does that as well.
Okay. Yeah, which I think most of the Fallout games had that. Like it was like, I don't know if it was speechcraft or something like that, but
Yeah.
you would persuasion or charisma, something like
The
that.
game as a whole is very narrative driven. It's very story driven.
And I guess you
And-
can like instead of going through like stealthing or fighting your way through, you can like talk your way through.
Well, that's the
certain
thing.
things.
You can stealth, and the in between of all the dialogue is you basically. It turns into a first person shooter,
Right.
and an exploration game.
Is it
an
like
open world game.
laser guns and stuff, like space, like future, or is it like
It
bullets?
is. It's yeah. I mean, there's a mixture of both. Really.
Okay, so it's like Fallout.
Similar, very
Okay.
similar.
Nice.
But it's a beautiful looking game. I'm a sucker for space stuff anyway.
Yeah.
So this is right in my wheelhouse in
Cool.
terms of like the atmosphere and being immersed in the game. So,
Sounds like you've had a better playing experience lately than I have.
yeah, I wish I had more time to put into it, honestly.
Right.
I by no means completed the game, but I definitely put some hours in, and it's been a blast so far.
Nice.
Lots of fun.
Nice.
So that's
Is
what
there
I've
anything
been
else you got
playing
your eye on for next, or?
Well,
Or just trying to complete
I just
that, or-
picked up Pokemon Shield.
Ooh.
And
Nice.
the only reason I did is because I was watching gameplay on Twitch,
Mhm.
and just the menus and the battles and the way the game looks
Mm.
is real clean, and the way you go through all the motions of the game,
Okay.
the controls themselves are real clean. Everything just looks real good. It's like a Pokemon game to the next level.
Yeah, I've heard this is like the Switch. I know they were trying to introduce people with like Pokemon Go, Pikachu, and Eevee, but like those were like the Pokemon Go
Yeah,
crowd. This seems like a core Pokemon game, like trying to get the next generation involved. Like
I had Let's
introduction.
Go Pikachu. And
Yeah, they were-
I traded that thing in.
Yeah, I'm not. I rented Eevee from GameFly, and I was. This is like not the kind of Pokemon game I wanted to play.
But these are. That's the difference.
Because like, what was it, Sun and Moon? I feel
Yes.
like were not so much a good introductory game. Like they were like a fan. Like if you already know Pokemon, like that was good to go into.
Do you know Pokemon?
But I don't. Yeah, but I don't think it was good to like introduce like the new generation or people that aren't used to Pokemon. Whereas
With
I've
that,
heard,
right? Yeah.
I've heard this is a better stepping
Well,
stone for those
the
people.
Pikachu and Eevee games were an extension of Pokemon Go.
Go right, exactly, which is garbage. So
It was, it was like a big bang at first, and then just completely
yeah,
face
and
planted.
it was fun. I got sucked in for a bit too, but yeah, it's just not. You want to battle, like the whole point.
Then
is
people
to-
were starting
yeah.
to use it for like nefarious purposes.
Yeah.
People would like set it up to like where you want to, you lure people into the park and you get robbed, and just like really stupid stuff.
Yeah, well,
People
are
are
dumb.
absolute maniacs.
Yeah, I just got my copy of Shenmue 3 that I kickstarted a while back.
Shenmue, and now it's
So-
at Best Buy anyway.
I mean, they were gonna release everything. I was kind of expecting it to give it to the Kickstarters first. So that is a little shocking. Like most times like they give
Did
you
you
like
get any perks out of it? Versus
I didn't. I just went with the
like Best Buy got a whole steel book and whatnot.
You could have, but I didn't want to pay the extra money because if you paid more money, I think I got it for I think it was probably a little bit cheaper than retail because I kickstarted it. Like I think I only paid like $40 maybe.
Okay.
And I got the PS4 edition.
But that's the Black Friday deal. I think.
Right. That's what I'm saying. But I mean, they were just trying to get money for producing the game, so
hey,
I'm not gonna complain.
They
I'm
made
just saying
it happen.
It looked,
now you have a new Shenmue game for fans of that IP.
I'm definitely gonna check it out. I didn't play the other ones. I watched some videos a while ago. That's why I was interested when they were trying to reintroduce it, and I'll probably be playing that next now that I've beaten the Fate of Silence. But I also have Limited Run Games had done a physical copy of the Switch
LRG
release for Time Spinner. Which has been out for a while, so it's not like a new game by any means, but I like my Switch physical copies, so I'm excited to get that. That should be shipping, I guess, at some point. So
that should be fun.
Yeah.
I mean, it's weird what happened with this limited run games thing. All of a sudden, these other companies started popping up, doing the exact same thing, and they're just eating into LRGs like,
the product model. Really?
Yeah. A business model, I guess.
Yeah.
But
I mean, it's good that
I think
people are realizing
to go out.
Yeah,
I'm
okay with the fight against digital only nonsense,
Absolutely,
like everything
man.
else. Like
we're
anyway,
definitely
I
old-fashioned.
digress.
We're not
like
gonna
I'd
get
say
into
next
that,
time
yeah.
we should talk on Stadia and all that stuff. Like we'll leave that for the next podcast because I've been hearing some odd things, and that just buys into the whole no physical media.
Well, the only thing I'll say about Stadia is I heard like they were gonna start with 12 games, and then
now they're
from
like desperately
immediate
trying to
backlash,
get.
they're like immediately
we need more
dropping
games.
another
We need
10
more
or
games.
12 games
Give me more games
in
please.
hopes. So what's the deal with that? There's no console, right?
Yeah, it's like I think there's a thing. I think there is a console.
I don't think there is. I think you're just connecting to the internet and it's all streaming.
Yeah, it's streaming, but I think that you still need a physical media to go through. I'm pretty sure people got like a thing delivered that's Stadia. It's not like I just saw I'm not going Internet Explorer.
I
and
saw an
signing.
internet video where like the lag is so significant.
Oh, I've heard
you
that.
Can't
I'm
even
pretty
play
sure.
A first-person
I'm
shooter.
pretty positive because they were saying units were going to sell out. It's definitely a console, but it just streams. It's like it's silly.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
I'm pretty positive that it's almost like a Genesis Mini kind of thing that you would plug in HDMI, but it connects to the internet.
I thought it was just a controller.
Maybe it is a controller that acts like it, but I know that like
that you use
people's
on, like,
Roku
straight to
TVs,
TV
like there's
or-
like all these like wacky things going on with like with issues and stuff. Anyway,
Things with issues.
we'll dive into that more. That's
All right,
another
let's
time.
start talking about the Game
The
Awards.
Game
So,
Awards.
I think the actual show is on December the 12th, right? So they're giving people time to vote
Thursday, December 12th.
for all these different categories. Let me see something here. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. Is that really 9? Okay, so they've got, say, 20 or so categories.
Almost 30,
Nah,
29.
Almost 30, yeah. So
like 6 of them are esport related.
Yes.
It's crazy. Like
there's
almost
a
like
mobile games category.
a third. No, it's I guess like a quarter of the total thing are esports related, which I guess is
Well, they have to
become
fill
big.
up a show, right?
I guess I don't
So-
know. There's plenty of titles with minus those 6. You still got a good solid 20 something. You could spend a little
And
more.
don't get
on.
us wrong. I don't think we're trying to shortchange the like esports circuit or anything, you know.
But some of these things like
for your,
like
for your average
esports, like
gamer
this
who
is
just
a
pick something up.
But this is a game awards thing, and like esports host is a category. Like who? Like is it going to be is next year the game awards host going to be? You know what I mean? Like, do we go into that? Like, what is the problem with? I
I
don't
guess
know.
it can go to that level.
It's just a little strange, is all. I don't want to badmouth it. You know, they're doing a job, and I'm sure there's personalities people like, but it just seems like a weird category to put into a game award thing.
All right, so
But-
let's talk
yeah.
about the nominees. I'm not going to get into because everyone's talking about like the big surprises and all this different stuff.
Yeah, for the categories, you mean?
For the for games that have been nominated in general, like some
Oh,
people
sure,
are just
sure.
surprised to see certain games on these lists in general. But we'll save Game of the Year for last because
Yeah, 'cause that's
I got
the
a
big
bunch
one.
to say about
Yeah, me
that
too.
one. But which category you want to hit up first?
I mean, I guess we could go into action. Want to check out the action category right next to Game of the Year?
All right, so the action game, there's 2, 4, 6 nominees for action game of the year. So we got Apex Legends, Astral Chain, which I'm super happy to see
Yeah, that
on
looked
there.
awesome, and I've been hearing nothing but great things on Twitter and everything else about it. So
It's a unique game.
I definitely would like to check that one out, but I did not pick it up when it came out.
So let me
I'm a
just
little
roll
disappointed.
through and then we'll talk about it. So we got Apex Legends, Astral Chain, Call of Duty Modern Warfare.
Which is surprising that that's an action game. What's going on with that?
Well, it could be an
Why?
action
Because
game.
you move around a map. Like I feel like that's a really
Action
weak,
happens.
It's a weak action. But anyway, keep
All right,
going.
yeah. So Devil May Cry 5.
Okay,
Gears
definitely.
5. And I was glad to see, but people I think are going to be surprised by Metro Exodus on this list.
Which I bought. I've not played it yet though. That was gonna be my next game, and then I got Shenmue surprisingly. So,
Shenmue.
but yeah, that game looks really good. All the Metro games seem like a great time. But also, I feel like that is also another action surprise because that seems more like a shooter, an adventure kind of thing, like a mix between the two. Like I can't think of two. Like
Well,
Devil May
obviously,
Cry.
shooters are rolled into this category because you got Apex, you got Call of Duty.
Yeah, again, I don't know if
Metro
that deserves
Exodus,
it though.
Gears 5, you're shooting the whole time. So it is an odd sort of motley crew of games
Yeah, like
for this
Gears,
category.
I can kind of see. I mean, I don't know what other elements about Metro there are. Like maybe there is some things, but like Gears, it was usually like I remember like in the first Gears, it was like just the lantern and like you did things that like constructed your way of going through the levels.
You did the
So
things.
Maybe there was part of that. You know what I mean? Like the first game, like the locust creatures would like
Yep.
get you in the dark and you had like your partner
Yeah.
shine the light on you. So I feel like that could be like sort of
That's
action,
action.
but not really. Devil May Cry, absolutely action. Astral Chain, you're fighting the whole time. It's not it, but it's not a fighting game.
I think we're
I can see
confusing
that.
the category for action adventure, but then they
But
throw in these
adventure seems
FPSs.
more like almost platform. You know what I mean? Like a Mario game would be action adventure.
Mhm.
This is I don't know. That was what I always assumed like
It's
an
just
action
an
game
odd
was.
group of games.
But maybe just it's 2019 and not enough of them came out that people are loving that this was the best they
So,
got.
Well, Metro Exodus, I don't think is going to have a chance.
No, neither do I.
To actually have enough.
And a
votes
few of
to
these,
even
I feel
come
like people
close.
might just vote because they like the game, but I don't know if it deserves to win this category. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I feel like really the two contenders that belong is Astral Chain and Devil May Cry 5, which honestly I've heard good things, but I actually have not watched any content at all about
Do you
Devil
think
May
Astral
Cry.
Chain has a chance against Call of Duty and Apex
I mean,
Legends
I
in this
would
category?
hope so because again, if you're voting for it, I don't know if you could just again if this is going to be a popularity contest, it's going to be a little silly. I would hope people come out to vote for Astral Chain and not just vote for a game that they like. That what I mean, like it just seems silly to do these things.
It
But,
does. I want to move on to the performance category.
Yeah,
because
interesting
This is always
one.
something that, to me, this is a perfect game awards category.
Right.
Because this is important. I mean, all these modern games, you see Norman Reedus in Death Stranding.
And
we
Mads
talked about this
Mikkelsen also
before.
in Death Stranding.
They're just bringing these actors, movie and TV actors, into
True.
the gaming industry now.
And sometimes not even that, but just like people that can perform well for the the gaming category. And
Well, traditionally, performance in gaming category was just voiceover work.
true.
Not that I'm not slighting that. The voiceover work is incredible, and it's brilliant actors.
But
are
with
doing
modern
voiceover work.
technology and the mapping
It's
that they
incredible.
can do,
They could do the
like
the face mapping.
the Death Stranding
on
videos
point
I've been
now.
seeing. It's Norman Reedus. Like it's about as close to almost a live action movie you control as I've
So you
seen
think
yet.
Norman Reedus is going to slam dunk this award?
Oh
here?
my God! I totally think Norman Reedus is going to
Just 'cause
slam
it's
dunk
him?
it because it's Norman Reedus, no question.
That's what I'm
just,
saying.
I just think that like this is going to be like a popularity contest is going to.
I'll say this: I didn't play Gears 5, but I watched enough Gears 5 on Twitch to know that Laura Bailey as Kate Diaz did a fantastic job.
I'm not saying any of these people didn't do a great job. I'm sure if they're
Yeah, you
in
just
this,
think Norman Reedus
like
is gonna
Mads
slam dunk
Mikkelsen would be another one that I'm sure is gonna like I've enjoyed most
He's
of the
always
things he's
excellent
been
too
in,
in movies.
but I just think Norman Reedus for popularity alone, and he's like the whole game of Death Stranding, like that is your character. So like next year I'll bet what's his name for Cyberpunk, like when that releases, it's going to be Keanu Reeves. I'm sure is going to be in this category when that game's out
for
the
sure.
Game Awards.
When does that game come out? Is it April?
Yeah, it's or is it April or March? I can't remember.
It's like first quarter.
It's early and it's going to be great.
Late first quarter.
I don't think it's the same time as FF7 remake, but it's close. I would think like within a month.
So yes. Anyway, we didn't mention Ashley Birch as Pavarti Holcomb, who would be my choice for this category. I thought she was excellent.
Outer Worlds, right? So she's
Yes.
you've been liking her as the companion.
Yeah, she's like your first companion. Yeah, companion.
Nice, cool.
And she gives the character a lot of spirit. I thought. I didn't play Death Stranding yet. I watched a bunch.
Yeah, I've watched them too, and looks incredible.
It does. It really does. The look of the game is just fantastic. But anyway, for the performance category, we have Matthew Peretta also as Dr. Casper Darling in Control. Now, Control, if you look at the different categories, is nominated for several
few
different
things, yeah. But this is for the individual people, not so much like the game itself. So, I haven't played Control, and honestly, I haven't looked too much into it, so I feel a little... I want to check this game out, though. It looked pretty cool.
Yeah,
it looked really
cool. I
cool.
didn't catch this game at all.
Yeah.
It totally passed me by. But the girl in the game, Courtney Hope, as Jessie Faden, is also nominated in the same category.
Right.
So it should be interesting. Of these 6 performances, who's going to win? I think you're
Dora
right.
Reedus, yeah.
I think it will be. My vote is for Ashley Birch, but I have a feeling you're going to be right.
I'm sure she appreciates your vote, sir.
Well, yeah. If she hears this podcast, I'm sure she would appreciate my vote greatly if she, in fact, wins.
All right. You want to move on with fighting game?
Let's move on to fighting game, okay? So let me just list what we have here. It's only 5. We've got Jump Force. We've got Dead or Alive 6, Mortal Kombat 11, Samurai Showdown, and Super Smash Bros.
Ultimate. So, Dead or Alive 6, I think, completely came out under the radar. I had no idea that game even came out. So, I don't think it has
out, but I had no interest in
Jump Force, I knew came out, but I did not hear a single good thing about it. It's like characters that you would think would get people interested, but like... It's almost like they try to make a Smash Bros. Game of Goku and stuff. Like no one cared.
I saw people laughing at the fact
Luffy
that Jump
from
Force
One
even
Piece and stuff. Yeah, it's just silly. Now Samurai Showdown, I remember hearing a lot of cool. And granted, I like the old Samurai Showdown games, but another one once it released, I feel like I didn't hear a single peep about it since then either. So
zero peeps.
I guess if people were interested, they were liking it silently. I guess.
You know what, man? I know a lot of people that were excited for Mortal Kombat.
Oh 11, yeah, and I've heard follow up things about it as well. So I know
the arcade mode where you sort of follow along the story is excellent. I watched a bunch of it. And,
that's cool. Nice.
It stays true to itself. All the ridiculous fatalities and bone breaking stuff. It was a real fun game to watch and to also play. I don't know a lot about Samurai Showdown, this new game. I remember it for Neo Geo, and
it looked very polished and nice, and like a nice adaptation, but or nice.
I couldn't even tell you how many combatants there are in the game.
Right.
But I don't think any of these have a hope.
Compared to Super Smash. Oh my God, absolutely.
I just don't see it happening.
And
it's such a popular IP.
And they care about it. They keep releasing things. Like every Nintendo Direct pretty much has something. They keep adding new characters. Not even just Nintendo characters. Like the game's been about like everything they've had, plus other characters from other games in general.
Yeah, Joker from Persona's getting pulled in.
Well, he's been in, I think. Now at this point.
I know, but like all these different characters from different games. You're totally right, man. It's been very interesting.
So I think that I personally, I bought it, day one, played it with plenty of people, family and friends. And
did you buy it day one? I did. I don't even own this game.
Yeah, I had it day one, and I bought the pass. I got everything in can. I have amiibos and you name it. It's a great game.
Pass. How much was it from front to back? Forget the amiibos. Just with the season pass.
I honestly can't remember now at this point.
It's got to be $100. So if you pay full price, let's say even you got the GCU discount, right? Let's say you spent $52, then the season pass is what, 20 or 30?
I think it was closer to 30, but 30. I forgot. Again, this was...
So you're in the 80s.
A while ago.
For just Smash. Mm-hmm. If you really enjoy it and put the time in, then yeah.
And the amount of stuff you get, like it's one of those things where you'll now be fighting people that have characters you don't even have or see. Like you're gonna be left out. Like Mortal Kombat 11, maybe that's the same case, but I feel like you probably get everyone you need.
It's going to be interesting. You know what? Let's move on to the esports game of the year. If we're going to talk about these esports categories, this is the only category I can really talk about because I don't know a lot of these esports.
And I guess it's like
athletes.
the game. I don't know how people judge this. Is like the games that are worth looking at because they're fun to watch, or is it just like your favorite game that you like watching people? Because like Fortnite, I feel like if you're
all
not
these
playing
games, it makes sense that they're esports games because they're all super competitive.
Yeah.
So we got Counter-Strike Global Offensive still. That is not a new game at all, but people still obviously delve into it. We have DOTA 2, also from Valve, and
which
then
I
there's
have no idea what that
Fortnite,
game
obviously.
is. Yeah, I know. Unfortunately,
League of Legends, which is an interesting one.
That's always been
and
that's
Overwatch.
been yeah. Those two on the end for sure. League of Legends and Overwatch, I can absolutely see. Counter-Strike, I've always heard of, and Fortnite, I feel like it's just silly to even watch that. Like that's one of those things where, like you'd watch the last player because you're playing, but you like watch it as like an esport. Just I don't know.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's sort of how I
Watch
judge
some 13-year-old
how I judge this category.
win millions of dollars.
You know, what is the most fun game to watch?
Yeah.
To me, watching Fortnite can be fun, but a lot of the time, because I cannot stay in the building aspect of it,
Yeah.
is not fun to watch. I don't enjoy watching a guy spin around, building a wooden house around himself, and then jumping off the top and blasting somebody with a shotgun or a missile launcher.
Yeah.
I'm just not into it. Not my
I
vibe.
mean, I don't even know Dota at all, too. So I can't even. I don't even know what the hell I'd be watching. So I probably should look into that. But I'm not really much of an esports kind of guy.
Well, you've seen League of Legends, right?
Of course,
You know what
that's
looks
like a because what was that? Blizzard had the like Heart of the Swarm or whatever it was. Like they had like their version where it's like I forget what they call it. Like you're fighting in lanes. It's like a few lanes. Like I know the deal of it, and I've watched it, and it's definitely some cool characters, which is
will
what I
say
think
it's
I like the
entertaining.
best.
I don't play any League of Legends,
Right.
but I've watched a bunch, and it is.
I like
it
the
is
cast of
entertaining.
characters. I feel like that's like my favorite part is like all the different ones. But same thing with Overwatch too has a good amount of individual people that they keep adding. And I've watched gameplay. I know some friends that play that pretty regularly, and those can be cool. I guess
In terms of competition, though, I would suggest that it's probably between Overwatch and CS:GO, man, because CS:GO is extremely competitive. You know, and it's
I
been
feel like
around
Fortnite's
a
probably
while.
gonna be the winner, but that's just whatever.
Do you think it's gonna be the winner?
Yeah, I
I
begrudgingly
wouldn't be
just.
surprised if League of
I
Legends
hope
or
it's not.
Overwatch.
Yeah, I
win
hope
this
it's one of
category.
those two. But
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know. Just the amount. Like it depends on who's voting in these things. Really, if every I don't know. I'm hoping it starts dying down, but.
Now let's move on to fresh indie game.
Oh
category, right?
yeah.
Let me just run through them quick.
Sure.
It's what is this? ZA slash
UM. Yeah, I have no idea.
for Disco Elysium, Nomada Studio for Gris, Dead Toast Entertainment for my friend Pedro, which
Dead
is
Toast.
interesting. Mobius Digital for Outer Wilds, and Mega Crit for Slay the Spire, and my personal favorite to watch at least was Untitled Goose Game.
Oh yeah. Was it House?
House for Untitled Goose Game. You know what, man?
I hope that
think
one
Goose
wins.
Game
Yeah.
has a chance.
I really hope it wins. That one was like
Untitled Goose Game has a swinger's chance.
every single time I've seen any kind of like a clip for that game, I'm cracking up. Like every single time. It just seems like a lot of fun. I'm definitely gonna have to download that.
Well, the description for the category is recognizing a new independent studio that released its first game in 2019.
Oh, so it's a first develop. Okay.
I've heard great things about from my friend Pedro. I've watched people play that
yep,
game. It's
that one looked
interesting.
cool. Yep.
It's totally over the top.
Yeah.
Matrix style shooting.
Right.
In a 2.5D delivery. It's a lot of fun to watch as well. I don't know much about Mobius Digital or Megacrit. Gris is, I've heard, an amazing game.
Yeah, I don't know.
Disco Elysium is nominated for several categories too, which I thought interesting because I never even heard of this game.
Yeah, I like the picture they have on this site. It looks like a weird looking car kind of thing, like an old style buggy. Yeah, like
Yeah.
I don't know, just strange, like farm equipment almost.
Yeah.
With like a wrecked
But I don't know, man.
street
I
area.
think just judging on if we're making the category a popularity contest,
yeah,
I think Untitled Goose
I
Game
hope
has
so.
a fighting chance.
I do hope that's the winner.
That'd be my vote anyway.
What else? We won't go into all of them. We'll just do a few.
No.
Of
We'll just go through the ones that we feel are most relevant. I thought this was an interesting category. I don't VR,
right.
but there is a category for best VR AR game.
Mm-hmm.
There's Asgard's Wrath, Blood and Truth, Beat Saber,
I think that's gonna be
which
the winner.
is the
Wars
lightsaber,
thing, yeah.
right? Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
Beat game.
I think that's gonna be the one.
No Man's Sky,
Which
to me would be probably the best visually in this category. And Trover Saves the Universe. Never heard of it.
Yeah.
No clue. Like I said, I don't VR, but some interesting choices.
I'm curious with the No Man's Sky VR. Like, is it just you playing normally with VR, or?
I think it's probably the game as you know it, but VR.
Interesting.
You know, maybe some dumbed
I may have to pop that into my
controls.
PSVR and give it a shot because I'm curious about that. What that is? Do I have to pay extra though to get the VR unlocked? I'd have to see what that's all about. Because I have the PlayStation VR.
I don't.
But,
well, maybe.
yeah, I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Is it like its own?
I don't think
game?
so.
We'll see. I'll report back in another podcast because I'll check it out.
For me, this is an important one, and I'm sure for many others who've played for many, many years these types of games. So it's the role-playing game category,
which has that Disco Elysium, like you said. That wacky.
We have Disco Elysium, Final Fantasy 14, Kingdom Hearts 3, which I'm slightly surprised by, and Monster Hunter World, Iceborne, and The Outer Worlds.
Man,
it's a weird group again.
Like
man.
Outer Worlds, I guess that's kind of RPG. I mean, Fallout's sort of RPG too. Monster Hunter, not really RPG, but that's like more like an action adventure kind of thing. But don't get me wrong, it's funny, like it's because it's the Iceborne, I guess, re-upping, but it's really like the equivalent of like the G rank.
DLC or expansion
well, I was gonna say, like,
is re-upping Monster Hunter World. You mean.
Right, because that's what I'm saying. Like Monster Hunter, like all the games have always had. Typically, us Americans would get like the ultimate edition of the games until recently. So usually, like the Japanese would get the initial release, and then like you're capped at a certain point, and then they'll release like G rank, and then it'll be like Monster Hunter G. And that's basically like the high end game stuff. Like you've gotten as far as you can, and now they add a whole other level of like monster AI and like harder fights and better gear and that kind of thing. So this is like the equivalent. Like they're added Iceborne, so now it's like they're upping the monster difficulty and new gear and all that kind of stuff. So a ton of content. So
a ton of content.
Like I
do well.
I would like that to win something, but I don't know if it would be role playing. You know, like that's just
again a strange group. Yeah. Kingdom Hearts 3. From what
I'm reading, that's RPG. I mean, that is works.
No, it is. But I feel like it's a weird choice.
Not really. Where else would it go?
I feel like it's a popular IP, but I feel like it flopped though. This particular game, I feel like flopped.
The people
they thought it was going to sell a lot more.
I mean, true.
And they thought it was going to be a lot more.
But same thing with Final Fantasy 14. Right, isn't that, or is that the online one?
That I believe so. That's the MMORPG.
So, which is weird too, because like I feel like that doesn't belong in this either. Yeah, it's an RPG, but it's an MMORPG. Like it's different. Like it belongs in its own category. But maybe they don't have so many of those anymore that they kind of stopped doing that category. That's got to be it. Because like, what do you got? WoW and that.
Yeah, man.
You know, like. Everything else is like phone related, maybe.
I would say just because it's in the category, I think Final Fantasy has a good shot just because it has such a cult following.
Yeah, it's still got a huge base.
I think it's between that, Monster Hunter World, and the Outer Worlds.
The Outer Worlds may swoop in, which I could see. I've heard a lot of people like your reaction is what I've been hearing like by everyone else that's been playing.
See, this is what they did. They split action adventure game and action game into two separate categories.
Yeah. And it's like half the same. Well, not half the same, but like action adventure. What do we got? We got Borderlands 3. We got Control. We got Death Stranding. Resident Evil 2 remake. Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening, and Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice.
Yeah, man.
or Sekiro, however it's pronounced.
Sekiro.
I've been doing Sekiro, but
However
I'm probably
you pronounce
wrong.
it's in. So this one's for
yeah.
me the most interesting category.
Yeah.
Because of the choices, right?
Such a wacky mix of things.
It is, but they're all action adventure games in their own right. So my personal pick, having not played a couple of these, which I feel may be an unfair assessment, but I think Resident Evil 2 was just fantastic.
Oh yeah, great game. I would, out of all these, vote for it. Like, I played Link's Awakening on the Game Boy years ago, so I did not jump into this remake. I could see a ton of Zelda and Nintendo fans in general that jumped into it probably for the first time, because I imagine not a lot of people did play the old one, thinking this is a brand new kind of Zelda game, loving that. The Sekiro Shadows Die Twice I also played that, loved it. Very hard, though.
It's a really good looking game, man.
It's the,
very
the Dark
immersive.
Souls a company that made just like a samurai game that also unforgiving, although I've heard some people say it's not as difficult as the other ones. I don't know, I died plenty, so I can't say that. Death Stranding's, again, I have not touched that game. Looks gorgeous, but I feel like the reception it's gotten has been very mixed.
Yes.
Like, you got a lot of in between, but we'll talk about that a little further for Game of the Year, I think, because I think that's nominated.
Yeah, it should be interesting. Do you think Zelda,
I could see
Link's
Zelda
Awakening has a chance
Yes,
here?
I think it's going to be between really those three: Death Stranding, Resident Evil 2, and Link's Awakening.
Did you play Borderlands 3 at all?
No, I played the earlier ones, but I don't know. I just feel like with this category, with these grouping of choices, I should say, I feel like not enough people are going to go Joe for that one as they will for the other ones.
I agree. I don't want to just leave it out, but I think
it's going to be between those three because again, I think Resident Evil though is like personally because I played it.
This is a competitive category here.
Yeah, this is the one that I'd really be looking at. And do you want to do one more than Game of the Year?
Let's do one more. Let's do Content Creator of the Year because I thought these were interesting choices. So Courage, I didn't watch a whole lot of. I've seen plenty of Dr. Lupo. I've seen plenty of Shroud. Shroud has a tremendous following. It's absolutely insane. But he's real good, man, at those first-person shooter games. There's a kid, Ewok. Gref G, I'd never heard of either. So if I had a choice out of all these guys, it'd probably be Shroud, because he mixes up the games a lot, and he's got skills, man. He's good with the keyboard and mouse combo.
I see. I don't like all right, because I'm looking at like the subtitle of this content creator. It's for a streamer or content creator who is made. So they added streamer in there.
Yeah, Sean has a very strong opinion.
I don't like. Because to me, content creator is like someone who makes like YouTube videos and stuff like that. Like not someone who just plays and streams. Like it should be like streamer of the year or something like that. To mix it between the two with just that title, like personally, like I would think, like why is Markiplier not in this category? Like he does both gaming.
There's so many good
and creative things.
Content creators out there.
I don't know. Personally, I think he's one of the best.
I don't know how you can whittle down the list. Honestly, there's so many good ones. I will argue with you in the sense that I do think streamers are content creators because they do make things entertaining in their own right. Many of them.
Mm-hmm.
Josh OG is an amazing streamer that I've watched for a long time. He's good with gameplay and he's also entertaining. You know, he's a friendly kid, and it's just, I say kid, I could say that because I'm an old man now. But there's a lot of guys like that out there that are awesome. But I know what you're saying. Sometimes, content I think is a wide umbrella.
I just think it should have been split. Like they split action adventure. I feel like streaming probably should be its own category, like the streamer of the year.
There are several categories that seem like they can definitely overlap.
Yeah. And like this one, like just the title it content creator, and then it's really also includes streamers. It just seems backwards. Like they were looking for categories to fill. Man. Why don't they add another one? And then do something. Like how many other things? Like I don't know if you watch like YouTube, like Game Theory, like MatPat, and all. Like they have people that like make good stuff that are worth watching. And I feel like I don't know and they've done a bunch this year too. So that's what I'm just saying. Like Heist with Markiplier. I don't know if you checked that out. Like he's been on like talk shows now. Like, he was just on like Larry King, and he was on whatever the Late Show is with I forget what his name, Seth. I forgot his name. He was
No,
on
I know
SNL.
who you're talking about, the
Yeah.
SNL guy.
Yeah. Like he was just on.
Not a fan of that guy, but
Yeah, but he's,
that's,
you know,
that's
whatever.
good exposure for.
Yeah, it's huge, and like he, you know, it's like a choose your own adventure, which they kind of did with the what was that, Black Mirror? The what was that one that just came out? It had like an odd Bandersnatch or something, right? Wasn't that the?
I don't know.
Okay, well,
I'm not gonna pretend to know. I don't.
okay, it was a like a Netflix thing that they did a choose your own adventure. You did a similar thing with YouTube. I'm just saying, like that's humongously like a ton of views, like millions upon millions that have seen it. Like, why is that not included in this? Is all I'm saying. But
Fair enough.
anyway, I digress.
There should probably be an additional category, like you're saying, and it should include, you know, other streamers as well. So let's move on. Drum roll, please. So let's
Game
move on to game of
the year
category. So
Game of the
the
year.
choices are
It's Game of the Year.
Control, Death Stranding, Resident Evil 2, Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, and The Outer
Worlds. Nice.
I don't know, man. So
I mean,
many good
I
choices
feel like
here.
this is one of those things where like I feel like I'm very upset that I have not gotten
So
enough
let's
exposure.
play it like this. Hold
no,
on.
I'm saying I haven't gotten enough exposure to Control because I feel like for it to be in this category,
Agreed.
it probably like I've heard good things, but I'm like,
It's got to be significant.
like I feel like I might be doing it an injustice. Because what if I play this next year and it's like, oh my god, this game was amazing.
How could I not
What was I
choose
doing?
Control?
But that's just where
It's
I'm
nature of
at.
the beast, man. It is what it is. You can't play
I
every
feel
game.
like Sekiro is going to be ruled out from the bat just because I don't think enough people have played it. It was certainly talked about enough, but it was hard, and I just
think
don't
when
think.
it first came out, it gained some steam.
Yeah, but I don't. I just don't think it's got the standing. So I would just say I don't think that's really in the running as far as Game of the Year.
So let's do that. Let's eliminate from back to front, right?
Okay.
So we'll whittle it down. So
Okay.
let's say Sekiro is checked
the
off the
last,
list.
Yeah, the last chance. Again, Control, I can't say anything for. I've heard good things, but I feel like not enough that people are like, oh, this is
Agreed.
the best.
I'm not seeing any social media outpourings about how amazing Control was. That's not to say it isn't.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of the time, these Game of the Year things become a sales thing.
True.
It becomes
True.
a popularity thing.
Which is
And if you all that considered,
Mm.
you know, and you roll hype into that also, I think it has to be checked off the list just based on that,
right.
because that's just usually what seems to happen. So we check off Sekiro. I'm going to check off Super Smash Bros. Ultimate
I
too.
100% agree with you. I do not think. I think that it deserves to win the fighting game category, like
Agreed.
we've already said. I do not think Game of the Year though. Like there's been too many other much better games that this is like.
It does have that popularity that we were
That's
just
what I'm
talking
saying.
about.
It's a
It does.
popularity thing, but
And that's probably
this
why
is,
it's here.
But it's also like a rehash of, which granted, I guess is like weird saying considering it's like Resident Evil 2 remake is in it, but it's almost like a completely new game in the sense, same plot, but it's completely redone from the ground up. Whereas Smash Brothers, it's if you played one Smash Brother, you probably know how to play as that character in this one, and you do. So yeah, there's new things and new maps and all that kind of stuff, but it's the same game in that sense that I don't think
it's
for Game of the
old-
Year to win.
It's
No.
the old Smash Brothers on steroids is basically what it is. But I hate to say, because it is a fighting game, it's somewhat self-limiting.
Right.
It does have the popularity and the backing behind it, and it's a whole lot of fun, and that's the whole point of games, is to have a great amount of fun.
Yes, indeed.
But we're going to go ahead and check it off this list. So that would remain with Death Stranding, Resident Evil 2 Remake, and The Outer Worlds.
Now, we've done a podcast on Resident Evil 2 Remake, so I feel like we've spoken quite a bit on how much we both loved that game. So definitely a contender, and I know there's other outpouring with it, so I feel like that's definitely leaving in the running.
Yep.
As up there. I have not played Outer Worlds. I know you are very much digging Outer Worlds.
Yes.
I could absolutely see that being a strong contender for getting this, because
It got
everywhere
tremendous
online,
reviews.
absolutely everyone that talks about this game is saying how good it is. So I can absolutely see that people being an outpouring of support for that game to win. Just because it's the original Fallout crew, especially with what they've been doing with Fallout 76 and etc. Like, it would be a great, like, just with that company's not doing well fan wise, like with what, you know, with that game specifically,
Yeah.
charging people and like giving you like broken game. It just, whereas this comes out like a fully fleshed game that everyone's loving. So it would be nice.
It's pretty incredible, and I think from a uniqueness standpoint, Death Stranding belongs here.
Oh yes.
I think that it did also come out to somewhat mixed reviews because I don't think people really knew what to expect, even though they released gameplay trailers, they released like a movie type of trailer for the game.
But it was left confused. Like no one had any idea what was going on. It was almost like an art project in a sense where you're like, what's going on right now?
The way
like,
Kojima describes the game too, it's a Stranding game. Like, of course it is.
But I don't
think people understood.
The first trailer was like him like crying, holding
really
a baby, naked. Remember on like the beach with the black stuff. You had no idea what was coming out from the get go. So
it was very ambiguous and
like,
strange.
I've heard
different.
People saying it's like a walking simulator, that it's very boring. It takes like a tremendous amount of time to really get going, which everyone has been unanimous with that. They're like, you really need to sink like 10 hours into the game, and then
replay
really
value is nice though.
What's up?
Replay value is nice. You want sort of a game, at least I do. You want a game that you could just pick up over and over. Some of which, are games that just, some of these JRPGs that just last forever. And you can just keep playing and playing and playing. Some games don't last forever, but they're so good that you can just pick them up and play them over and over again.
Right.
So they do have those elements to them. Death Stranding, like I said, did not personally play it. I watched a lot of gameplay of it. It looks like a lot of fun. It looks like a visually gorgeous game.
I've heard many things about
the
the soundtrack. Like I've heard like it's very peaceful and like you really get like into it, and people are like voting like they think that this should be like soundtrack of the year as far as like game music and stuff. Like, and every visual I've seen of the game looks absolutely stunning. Like Norman Reedus, it looks like Norman Reedus. Like the people that they're portraying, it's like the closest to a live action movie that you're controlling that I've seen. Like, and all the backgrounds look fantastic. The mountains and the
I think
everything just looks
Cyberpunk
great.
is going to rival it when it comes out.
Oh my god, yeah! I think Cyberpunk's going to be a whole other contender when that releases next year. Like that's probably going to win a lot.
Man.
Yeah, I'm excited. Like that.
I don't want to derail what we're talking about though. So what's left is Death Stranding, Resident Evil 2, and The Outer Worlds.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man,
I know
this is where it gets tough.
And like the fact that Death Stranding isn't as super pumped that like you know what I mean, like the fact that it's so divisive as far as what people are saying upon release. Like I thought it was going to be much more better received than it has been. Even though not that I'm saying it hasn't been well received, but not overwhelmingly like I expected. Like I really expected this to be like easily game of the year kind of thing, and I'm not sure. I don't think. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe people are more supportive than you think, but
before we scratch it off the list, I want to talk about the other two games first, and just make a few points about why they may be scratched off the list. Right.
Okay.
So Resident Evil 2 Remake, it is a horror game.
Right.
Okay. So it does limit the audience there. Like whereas Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is for everybody.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah, I can agree with
Resident
you on that.
Evil 2 is not for everybody. I would not let my 5-year-old son get into Resident Evil 2. Not yet, you know? Maybe when he's older, of course. But at this age, it is a little bit limiting for the game, you know?
No, I can understand that.
Okay, so The Outer Worlds is also limiting in the sense that if you don't enjoy a lot of reading, a lot of interaction, and you're more, inclined to action.
Is it not
shooting?
All voice dialogue? The Outer Worlds? Is there a lot more reading, or
it is? It's they combine audio with the reading, so you can sit.
Is there
and listen to all what they say, but you have to read the selections. You have to choose what you're going to say.
Okay.
As
like
you
a standard
interact with all
dialogue
the characters.
But
in
it's
the
not
world.
like you're reading everyone's text. Like some games will mix where it's like they'll give you some talking points and then it'll be reading with selection.
They respond to every choice that you make with audio.
Okay. That's good. But yeah, I get what you're saying, though. You're still reading quite a bit and making a lot of choices.
It's self-limiting in the sense for those people who aren't into that style.
A little slow in those parts, I guess, because you're reading and going through the dialogue.
You might find that dull if you're playing something like Call of Duty all the time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and you're not open to a story-driven game.
Okay.
So that's what you have here. So It's interesting. So
Yeah.
you could almost say that all of them belong here and none of them
do.
belong
Yeah,
here, right?
that is a very valid point, sir.
So I am going to personally, as a grown man who can handle horror content,
Yeah, say Resident Evil 2.
okay, I'm going to scratch off Death Stranding from this list. Do I think it might be scratched off the actual list in the sense that it can't win?
Certainly not.
Definitely not. I'm scratching it off
For
my
yourself.
list. If
Yeah,
I'm
I
going to
gotcha.
vote, it's going to be between Resident Evil 2 and The Outer Worlds.
Yeah, those are the two that I'm really thinking are great. Not that I completely agree with you. Not that I don't think Death Stranding, but like for me personally, having not played it yet, not even playing Outer Worlds, but just knowing what I've been seeing and liking the previous Fallout games. But personally, I think Resident Evil 2 is my personal pick for best. I was blown away by how well they remade that game.
It was pretty incredible,
Yeah.
and I think it's a valid choice. That's not my choice. I'm going to go ahead and select The Outer Worlds
Nice.
for Game of the Year. Resident Evil 2 is an intense game, and I'm not always into. Sometimes I just want to lay back and play a game and enjoy myself, and that's exactly what The Outer Worlds gives me.
Sure.
It gives me my enjoyment of first-person shooter aspect. I love how it's story-driven. There's a lot of comedy. The world itself is beautiful. The artwork, everything, in terms of what you see visually, is pretty nice. I do like games. I tend to lean towards games that are story driven, so or narrative driven. So I like to be pulled in, and that's how I start to care about the characters.
Gotcha.
Just like when you're watching a TV show or watching a movie, the narrative and the personalities of the individual characters are what pulls you in. So I enjoyed the performance of Ashley, who plays, the main character, not the main character that you are, but the main companion character. The name is just slipping my mind for the moment. But yes, Outer Worlds would be my choice for Game of the Year.
And based on what you just said, on what you enjoy, Death Stranding seemed to have a lot of those things as well. So
yeah, that's why I didn't want to really
enjoying...
eliminate it. I wanted to give it a fair shake, but it's not gonna get a fair shake if I haven't really delved into it.
That's true. And again, I'm in the same boat because again, like I feel like I liked a lot of the wacky. Like I saw a couple trailers and stuff for Control and some of like little bits of gameplay, and it seemed like it was a very trippy, fun looking game, but I just did not get into it, and I hope that doesn't detract from it for those of you that do enjoy the game. But
yeah, so that's our pick. My pick is The Outer Worlds. Sean pick is the Resident Evil 2 remake for Game of the Year. So, follow us on Instagram. Check us out. Maybe drop a comment on the YouTube channel if you're watching this on video. If you're listening to us on Apple iPad or any sort of Spotify or any sort of podcasting app, let us know on Twitter at VGBoys what you think your Game of the Year selection is going to be out of this group,
or any other category that you would like to comment on.
It feels like a year of the underdog, though. You know what I mean?
Which is fine. I feel
nice.
like that's good.
I
I don't always
refreshing.
want a AAA, title, or I shouldn't say that, but like a mainstream like title that come through. And granted, Resident Evil is, but like this was like its own project. Like it's interesting to bring a game back from the past that's not like a crappy port, like an FF7 or 8 remake on the Switch. I mean? Like it was its own thing. So I'm excited to check out what actually ends up winning. We'll see. Maybe there'll be a few upsets or a few no.
Oh, there's
wins.
definitely gonna be upsets. You're gonna have a lot of surprise, choices in a lot of these categories. It might be a little bit of a snooze fest for us during the esports categories.
Oh yeah.
Hopefully they break them up so
We'll
they
see.
don't lull us to sleep. Because your casual gamer does not know any of these folks. No offense to them or their skills or what have you. I'm sure they're grossly talented.
But these categories, I guess, are for the people that enjoy the esports thing. So I guess it's their way of
it's there for a reason.
Paying
for sure.
homage to them because they are interested. Esports has become tremendous, so I can't completely knock it because if it wasn't getting more popular, they wouldn't be including it. So
with that said, the most important thing is to remain not jealous.
Not jealous at all.
And please check us out on Instagram, on Twitter, and all the above.
Yep,
Subscribe
YouTube.
to the YouTube channel.
Absolutely. We'd
so
love
you
to
can get more of your favorite VG Boys content. And we will sign off and see you guys later.
Absolutely.
Don't be jealous.